How you guys doing? How you guys doing? How you guys are doing? I hope each and every one of you are having an amazing day. If this is your very, very first time tuning into any of my broadcasts or content, I'm Leticia Campbell. I'm actually the #1 sales and systems strategist. I'm also the CEO and founder of the Campbell Success Network and creator of my List Building Academy, where I teach very successful entrepreneurs on how to grow and scale their businesses, all through leveraging email marketing and systems. So I'm so excited to be here for you guys today. I believe this is episode 24 of my email marketing trends and conversations talk show. And today we're going to talk about 6 ways to create your email marketing process. Before we jump into that, I have some housekeeping and some announcements to share with you guys. The first thing is sister to sister connection. So for those of you guys who don't know, I do a show called Sister to Sister Connection every Wednesday and Saturdays with my co-host. Both her and I both host the show together. Her name is Tawanta Davis Jones. We have not been doing the show for the past couple of weeks now because Tawanta has gone through some, deaths in her family. And she actually announced this on her page. So please make sure you guys are praying for her. Please make sure you guys are going over there and giving her your condolences, because there is a lot going on. And we, as a sister to sister connection community, absolutely supports her. So we will be getting back on doing the show. I didn't want to do the show alone because that particular show is made for us, her and I both, to host it and what have you. So it's a really good show, and both her and I both built the show together. So I would not want to show up without her presence and her love and all that being there. So yes, we didn't cancel the show. We're actually in our 3rd season of it. But we will be back doing the show in the next couple of weeks. Now, my next announcement for you guys is I've been literally keeping this announcement locked and key for quite a few weeks now, probably almost a month. So as you guys know, I teach email marketing and systems, right? Which has everything to do with sales. And one thing I have to say for those of you who are out here building your businesses and promoting your businesses online, and you think that nobody's listening, and you think, hey, Therese, how are you doing, love? Happy to see you here. And if you think that nobody's watching, if you think that nobody cares, people are always watching. And you guess what, guys? The big fish is always watching, right? So Constant Contact been reaching out to me, and they have been doing it for quite some time, but I was so sidetracked by everything else. And I had a meeting last month or the month before last with one of the representatives of their partnership program. And it was a great meeting. I really enjoyed it. So I said yes to becoming a Constant Contact partner. And if you don't know what Constant Contact is an ESP, which stands for Email Service Provider. It's also a CRM too, a customer relationship manager as well. And also social media. They have social media features in there for you to post on your social media platforms. You can create a whole sales funnels, email marketing funnels, you name it. It's like one big umbrella for businesses to do multiple things to maintain their sales, to get new sales, to keep recurring revenue coming on in their business. So for those of you who are like, well, which email service provider should I go with to start sending out emails to my audience? I will have to say, and I've said this even before I became a Constant Contact partner, I have to say that by far, Constant Contact is the best, right? Constant Contact is the best. Therese, can you see me? Am I coming in clear? Let me know, sis, if I'm coming in clear. Let me just shut off the Wi-Fi. Okay, great. I'm back. Boom. I didn't want like the connection to be bad. So last night I announced it officially. And what does that mean? Okay, Leticia Campbell is now a partner of Constant Contact. That means like on the client end, like those of you who are my clients, my private clients, my LBA clients, um, I have, and I will talk about the benefits and all this in my client group. I don't want to really announce it here, but there's going to be a lot of great benefits on the management side. I have to say that. But those of you who are in, or any of you guys who are a client of mine, I'm going to do a separate, more detailed announcement inside of our group later, probably later on next week. All right, so let's jump into this, guys. By this time, you guys should definitely go over and make sure that you are sharing out this broadcast. And we're going to jump in and talk about 6 ways to create email marketing process. Now, what is the difference between a strategy and a process? Let's talk about that first. What's the difference between a strategy and a process? So when you think of a strategy is something like, you know, my business strategy is your strategies. First thing, before you make a strategy, you got to think of an offer. Okay. You got to think of an offer. So many people out there they have a strategy. And the reason why their strategy is not working is because they don't have an offer to compound the strategy with, right? So when you think of a strategy, you first have to first and foremost have, yes, Therese says she loves Constant Contact. Yeah. And like I said, Constant Contact for me is the best platform because I've been using Constant Contact since 2016, June 23rd of 2016 to be exact. And I've always used it for my business. And I have tried other email service providers, but I always end up going back to Constant Contact. Absolutely. So strategy versus process, right? So you may have a good strategy, but the reason why you're not reaching your goals, thank you, Therese, is because you don't have a process, okay? So a strategy obviously is a way that is a strategy. Let's say your goal is to make $5,000, right? And you may say, well, my strategy is to market on social media. My strategy is to rebrand myself. My strategy is to show up this way so that way my audience can really get connected with me. That's a strategy, which is great. But what is your process? Your process is something like, for example, this show, right? I have a process that I do before the show. I have a process that I do during the show, and I have a process that I do after a show. Okay. The process is what makes your strategy come to light, right? Because you could have a strategy all day, but if your process is not built to work together with your strategy, then you're going to end up feeling overwhelmed and confused. And this is why I always tell my clients that you have to stay focused, right? You know, sometimes I get, individuals who will be like, I want instant engagement. I want instant success. I need something showing up right away. That's all well and good. But you guys got to understand the process. When you're building a process in your business, the results are not overnight. I'm probably the first person that told you guys this. The results are not overnight. Any great process shows its results through time. Because here's the thing, y'all. You can start a process in your business, and here's what happens. You're going to change it eventually. Because process is about testing things out. You're testing this process out. You're telling yourself, well, we're going to take this process in our business. And then a month later, you may say, well, I want to tweak this. I want to change this. I want to remove that. I want to add this. So it does change some time, but through time, you will see results in your process. So I always tell people, like, real testing of your process happens. You got to give it about a year. Right, Therese? You got to give it about a year. And Therese, so she's on here. She absolutely knows that and understands it. You got to give it about a year to really say, this is the process I want to take. And I know and guarantee that this is the process that's going to work for my business. So yes, with email marketing, you have to have a process. Email marketing is more than just sending out emails. It's more than just scheduling your emails and hitting that automation button. It's more. So I'm going to give you guys 6 steps real quick. So let's go over the first one real quick. Step number 1 is you have to set measurable goals. Okay. So you may say, I have a goal this month of $10,000, but have you made close to that in the past 6 months? Yes or no? Right. So you got to ask yourself like that. So give yourself a goal that is measurable, because the thing about goals, guys, people will tell you go straight for the $1 million, right? Which is great. Right. But here's the thing. If you don't have a large enough list, if you don't have a targeted audience, right? If you have not been consistent in the past year in your brand, don't think you're going to make that $1 million this year. But don't feel bad. Say, you know what? I'm going to really start in the medium level, the measurable level, to say, well, yeah, I want to make $10,000 this month. But you know what? I probably should focus on making maybe about 4 or 5, and then later on in July, August, in September, you can start pivoting up, because once you create a system around making 4 figures, making 5, 6, 7, 8 figures becomes so much more easier. Some of you are trying to descend when your business is not built to descend. Your business is built to ascend, to ascend up, not ascend down. So you got to set measurable goals for your list. Measurable. The minute you get someone on your list, you got to say, you know what offer is not price point. What offer is going to get them to move forward? Not price point, because it could be any price point. But what offer do they need that's going to get them to move to the next level? What is going to be measurable? What is a measurable offer? What's a measurable goal? Okay, step number 2 is to choose an email template or build one from scratch. So you guys know I'm really big on templates and copy and things like that. So try to use a template. Let me give you an example with Constant Contact. Constant Contact probably has over 100 different styles of templates. You don't want to play around with the templates too much, like use one particular style template and then switch in the next email, use another. Try to keep your template the same all throughout your scheduling and sending your emails. It's just very important. The main reason why that's so important is that you don't want to play around so much with creating all different types of templates, because your email can end up being placed in somebody's spam or promotion inbox. And once it's in there, it's hard to get out of that. Hard to get out of that folder, just being honest. So try to choose one template and stick to that style. That's very important. If you can't find one that you like, create one for your own. And what I love about email marketing is that you don't have to be no crafty designer. You don't have to hire somebody who is a designer to do that. Keeping it simple with that, with it is so simple, so much better. Step number 3 is to write enticing email copy. Write enticing email copy. You know what to say. Can I just say this? Like, I want you guys to give yourselves more credit. You know what to say. If somebody was in a Starbucks with you and they wanted you to explain what it is that you do and how it is that you do it, it's going to flow out so much easier. So don't feel that because you're turning your voice into text that the conveying this is much harder when it's not. Speak how you speak to people the same way you speaking in your copy. Because if you try to sound different, right, or sound more professional in your own head, whatever that's supposed to mean, people are going to know it's not genuine and it's not you. So even for me, like, I have clients that we actually create their copy for. So what we do before we actually schedule out that email for them, using the copy that we edited for them, I have them look at it first. I want the client to tell me whether or not this copy is the right languaging. So when people read it, the person who's reading it can know that it's truly and honestly coming from them, which it is. So they approve on everything, because you don't want your presence to be sort of different from social media versus your email list. Okay. So step number 4, guys, is comply with email regulations to stay out of the spam folder. You don't want to play around with putting all types of different things, graphics, images, hyperlinks, and all this stuff in your copy, because it can end up in spam or the promotion folder of your subscribers' inbox. And just like how I said earlier, once you're in there, it's kind of hard to get out of that inbox. So just try to comply. If you don't know what the rules are, reach out to your ESP, your email service provider, and ask them, what are the rules? What shouldn't I do in my copy? And a lot of times, especially with Constant Contact, is that they run a test before. So before you send that email out, you can actually click, like, scan through the email, so that they can tell you, oh, maybe you should take out this, or maybe you should delete that. You know what I'm saying? So it will definitely show you that. Okay. Step number 5, review, test, and send your email marketing campaign. So don't send anything out until you test it first. Review it, test it. What I do is I will send a test email to myself. I will read the email on my phone, and I will look on my phone, and I will make edits from my phone right to my desktop. I know this process takes longer sometimes because for each, if you're trying to do a segment or scheduling out like 10 different emails throughout the month or for different lists, could take some time. But at the end of the day, you don't want to send out something and the person clicks on the link and it doesn't go to where you want them to go. Trust and believe that is annoying. And that has happened to me before when I was rushing, right? All right, so this is the last step, guys, which is step number 6, is to measure your results, guys. Measure your results. And you know why it's so important that you measure your results is this. When you go sit back and let's say you sent out every other day last week, you sent out a bunch of emails and you're going to go back into your reports, right? And you're going to look at what people are clicking on, what people are opening. And you're going to ask yourself, well, maybe the reason why people didn't open Wednesday's email is because maybe the email was too long. So you know what? Let me resend this same email again for the people who did not open it or people who did open and didn't take action, and maybe not make it so wordy, or maybe put the hyperlink or the link I want them to click on at the top, or not the top, but in the middle of the email instead of at the bottom. Or maybe for the people who didn't open your email or did open your email, didn't take action, maybe you need to start sending them some engagement series so they can start to get to know you and get better acquainted with you. But here's the thing, guys. Your offer is amazing. Everything that you're offering to your audience is perfect, is right, is exactly what they need. But everything is also about packaging. So you got to measure results. In order to reach your goals, you got to sit back and you have to measure your results. This is what sales teams do. This is what marketing agencies do. You got to sit back and measure it. Because when you're sitting in front of somebody who you need help from, that's some of the information that you should give them so that they know what to work with. All right. So listen, guys, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Wherever you're tuning in from, please let me know in the comments. Let me know that you are here. I'm going to be back on next Tuesday for my email marketing trends show and conversation. So you definitely want to tune in. Make sure you have your notifications on, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.